What's happening, everyone? Michael Olivas here. I ask my future scheduled guests to adapt their advice and responses to current times. This is a COVID-19 special edition where I will ask entrepreneurs how this current epidemic is affecting their business and life and what their advice is for you. I get it, Life Nation. I'm not just a podcast host. I'm an entrepreneur, just like you. My companies are having to pivot and innovate just to stay afloat, and I'm hearing it from guests and colleagues alike. Stay motivated, refocus, and trust me that those companies and individuals who truly strategize to get through this will flourish when it inevitably comes to an end.
You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
Let's get rocking, guys. Today I'm chatting with Damen Griffith. Damen is the owner of DamenGFit.com. That's DamenGFit.com, who does high-level one-on-one health and fitness coaching for busy professionals who want to get in shape without having to give up all the foods they love and having to spend hours in the gym. Sign me up. All right, Damen, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing, man? Thank you. I'm happy to be on today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for being on. So tell our listeners something interesting about yourself, Damen. Also, where you're calling in from today.
So I'm calling in from Longview, Texas. It's a little town about 2 hours east of Dallas. Just pretty straight shot from here to Dallas down I-20. So I go there quite a bit and do a lot of business from there.
Nice.
But I live in Longview. Got a 3.5-year-old son here, so I stay here.
Okay.
And something interesting about myself, I think that a lot of people probably don't know, is I grew up actually on a ranch with exotic animals and like a lot of cattle and stuff. So we had everything from alligators to zebras.
Wow.
So I've worked with like all kinds of cool animals and things of that nature. So it made me tough growing up. It made me work hard. Yep. But I loved it. It was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, man. I have a similar upbringing. I grew up on a pig ranch where it was but then we called it a pig ranch because we had the majority of pigs, but we had peacocks and cows and goats and a random horse gets thrown in the corral. And I always tell people, put some trees around there. It's going to be like Jurassic Park. There was everything, right? And so,
that's right, dude.
Yeah, so it was just everything, right? But you're right, man. It totally gives you I always tell people I was kind of fortunate to grow up unfortunate, but it was more just a work ethic, right? That it really created so much shit to do on a regular basis, like feeding the animals on a regular, cleaning everything. So yeah, definitely good work ethic and good upbringing, man. I love to hear that. Good story. Tell us a little bit about your company. What does that do, or what do you do for a living, specifically what the company name is and what it kind of brings to the marketplace?
So what I do specifically, I do social media influencing. I've got like 330,000 followers on Instagram. So it's pretty decent. It's not great. But what I do is I have a online business called Damen Fit, and I do high-end fitness and health coaching. Not for by high-end, I don't mean like bodybuilders or people that really compete. I mean people that are like doctors, lawyers, nurses, people that are very busy and they want to enjoy their life, but they also want to look how they desire. And so I'm the one that comes in and kind of gives them the blueprint, tells them, hey, eat this here, cheat on these days, enjoy your alcohol here, work out here and do this here. And I kind of just lay out the blueprint for them because they really don't have time to think about it. They're busy. You know what I mean?
That brings me to an idea or one of the questions we talked about, you making a tough decision, because generally you would think that the influencer side would try to be kind of everything to everybody, right? Trying to be out to the masses. Tell me a tough decision on what you had to make to kind of turn that transition to, or why you turned that transition to your niche and your focus.
Right. So, man, to be honest with you, the real reason that I started doing any kind of coaching or meal planning or training was because, number one, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And then number two, I wanted to help people. And that's the main thing. When you're giving somebody a service, you want to make sure that you're helping them in the way that that's what you're doing. You want to make sure you deliver. And so having a big following and everything, at first I tried to just appeal to the masses with your, meal plans and workout plans and just kind of get their information, tell them what they need to do, send it to them, and then, let them run. And then I really decided that, in business, I really wanted touch people more than that and have more of a long-term effect on them and really build a habit of their lifestyle versus just follow this diet for 12 weeks and then what do you do? So I wanted to build their life. And so I decided to start appealing to the high-end people, the people that are really serious, that really come to me and they want to work with me. Yep. And I give those people my undivided attention, one-on-one. And that way I'm here for all their questions, concerns, comments, and everything like that.
I think that a lot of people, it's a good pivot and a smart model, I think, because a lot of, especially on the influencer side, right? It's just like, okay, how do we monetize this as a business? And a lot of times people are just, like I said earlier, trying to be everything to everybody, and then you end up being nothing to anyone. Right. And it's because you're just going to blast out a message, and that's great. But the reality of it is who's taking it. And in a model like yours or a pivot like yours, it makes sense. Which again, it's props to you, Damen, to do it, because sometimes it's hard. It's kind of scare of the unknown. I'm used to doing this and sending out people and giving out all the information I can. But when you realize you can have a bigger impact on less amount of people, but it makes you feel good, man, because you're stoked about helping people and seeing a true change. Same thing with my coaching jazz, right? Like I can't coach that many people. It's not as scalable for me. I love it and I do it I only probably take on 8 to 10 clients personally, but when the reality comes, I want to do the mastermind thing, right? I want to be able to impact some more people, but a little bit more people, not like thousands by any means, less than 100, less than 50 really. But that's more impactful for me, and it gets a better experience for me because I get to really embed myself into like their life, what they're doing, just like you're doing as well. So I know it's kind of different for a lot of people to think this from a business perspective, because business owners like you and I and others listening think more equals more money equals more dollars, right? But listen, man, you can do just as well by doing a lot less and have a bigger impact.
Or really to from what I've seen, when you put it out there into the universe, man, and you really go at it, you try to help people, you'll come out even more ahead doing it that way.
Absolutely,
you really will,
man. Yep.
You really will. That's how it works.
Yeah, man, you go in it for the right reasons, the dollars are going to come, guys. I think that's huge. And that's what I think we really try to push. And it's so hard and kind of somewhat like, it's not foo-foo talk. It's just like this is the people that I talk to, like Damen and entrepreneurs across the world. I mean, it's a no-brainer that they throw it out there on so many different levels of like, listen, if your why is, I want to make an impact, I want to make a difference, that money will come, right? And
every time.
You start realizing that, it's not about the money as much as it is about the journey and getting there. And then eventually that's going to come. You're going to be happy. Everything's going to be great, but you're still going to pivot. You're going to do things like you did, of course, and do some different things. But with our certain situation that we have going on right now, Damen, with COVID-19 and this stuff that's just obviously just really hurting entrepreneurs and business owners across the country. Has this affected your company at all?
So it has affected me on the side of signing up new clientele. Sure. It has slowed down my new clientele somewhat. I just signed a new client today, actually. So awesome. I'm still working it. And the reason for that is this. When I work with people, they're people who want to work with me. So a lot of times the type person that I'm going to look to work with anyway, because they have to apply, they don't just get to pay and join, is someone that would not let something like COVID-19 stop them from their goals anyway. So they're not afraid to start something new right in the middle of a pandemic, because they're still trucking along every day, taking all the safety precautions, et cetera, but still getting everything done that they need to handle in their own life. And so, it shut down the gyms and things, and I had to improvise with all of my current clientele. I had to change all their stuff to at home and calculate, a little bit different meal plan for some of them because they weren't going to be doing as much. But once I made that pivot and switched everybody over and told them what they needed to be doing, we just, kept moving right along.
What's happening, Life Nation? Michael Levis here. This is a time to do the right thing, not the profitable thing. I'm giving away COVID-19 business strategy sessions for free. I promise to give you my honest advice and coach you on a strategy that I feel would be best for the longevity of your business. I'm not asking you for your money, but in the interest of being able to help as many people as I can, I am asking you to be ready with your 1 to 2 specific questions so we can jump right into it. Go to michaellevis.com/coaching and simply schedule a call on my calendar. That's MIKEOLIVAS.com/coaching. What do you think the biggest hurdle is right now for a lot of people? Because I think we were joking around the other day on a friend's Zoom call of mine, and we were talking about like college days. And I said the freshman 15 is now turning into COVID 15 or the COVID 19, like the 19 pounds. Like COVID 19 is actually going to turn into like the freshman 15, but COVID 19 pounds.
But COVID 19.
Like, yeah, I was like, everyone's going to come out of this 19 pounds heavier. I go, if I'm in the fitness guy or if I'm Damen, I'm like, I'm going to come out with the 19 days to lose it back or whatever it might be, like whatever you were locked up, and locked down on, and like maybe you can lose it within a couple of weeks or a month, but we know that's going to happen. I think it's just, and I hate to say it, no, but we just know generally the population's not as motivated as those that are going to the gym daily or doing something in their house daily or yoga outside daily. So, some are, which I hope that's the case, of course, but do you feel there's a lot of people that are going to or that you can probably see that are going to be unmotivated to kind of keep active within their house?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it just, man, to be honest with you, I've just seen it looking around on social media and
Sure.
stuff. You can just pick up on the fact that people are kind of starting to get a little down.
Yeah, man.
And it's tough right now because you really can't go do that much. But, at times like this, that's when I tell people that's when your mindset matters the most. And that's when you just have to tell yourself, if you feel like you need to get out of the house or do whatever, you got to go find something you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go outside, take a walk. Now, me personally, when I heard the gyms were closing, me and a buddy of mine got together. We put our own gym in the same day within 24 hours and got it fully stocked. So I didn't miss any workouts, but again, that's me overcoming a problem. Thankfully, I was blessed enough to have the resources to do that, but I saw a problem, I saw my way over it, and I took it. And that was, for me, how I did it. And that's what I suggest people do is, you have to take the current situation, be positive about it, and make the absolute best with what is available to you.
What works for me, Damen, is first thing in the morning, I get up and I get it done. Do you think that is just different for everybody? I think a lot of people just like to do it at night or midday. I find myself, once I hit my laptop personally, I'm not going away from it, right? I'll be working and getting it done or recording like I am today. And I stack these up like 20 plus in a day, possibly from a podcast standpoint, and still have to run my companies, right? But so I know I won't be able to, that laptop becomes glue to me and I can't get away from it, even though I can just jump into my living room and knock out it. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, it's not going to do it. So is there any kind of like experience or advice that you'd give to those right now that are listening that are somewhat not used to working from home and now obviously are also not as motivated to get into a home workout?
Yeah. So to anybody that's not used to working from home of any business right now, I think one of the most important things is going to be social media, because right now everyone is on social media. So if you have a business selling anything, whether it be a product, a service, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You need to be putting that out there on social media. And if you'll provide value on social media, people will look at it. And if people are looking at it, they will see your product, they will see your service. And that's one of the best ways. That's one of the best things I can tell people right now, regardless of what your career, what your job, what your business is, anything, be on social media right now, using it to provide value and to be trying to network with other people, because that's going to be so important to keep that traffic flowing.
Yep. I think that's a great like advice. Just create some real connections, whether they're your clients and asking them things. And even though they can't be purchasing or they might not be purchasing, they might be in different ways, but can you still realize that you can still move the needle by keeping a relationship alive? Like you just
Absolutely.
mentioned, just asking them, hey, is there any way I can service you outside of my product or service for you? How's it going?
Yeah.
How's the family?
And I just try to provide I try to provide that value. I've tried to give them, I changed them all over to some free workout plans and all this kinds of stuff. And so I try to just give that value. And then to anybody that's not used to working out, that's, or maybe is stuck at home right now and they're used to going to work out, the one thing I can say that's more important than anything else, especially while we're so restricted with our physical mobility, is going to be your nutrition. That's going to be the most important thing, is keeping your meal plan on point. And that's been a big selling point for my business right now, is people reach out to me and they're like, don't know if I want to join because of COVID-19. And I'm like, listen, the one thing you don't want to do is you've already spent all this time and money and effort working out on your own, paying gym dues and eating good food, do you really want to backtrack for 6 or 8 weeks while we're on lockdown and then have to redo what you've already done? Or do you want me to come in, make your diet perfect, keep you at least where you're at, probably go ahead and still make some progress and come out of this thing better than we started?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think you know it, I know it, and people say it all the time as far as it's a lot easier to stay in shape versus to get back into it, right?
Absolutely.
And so definitely stick to a game plan, a regimen. And we're not talking about waking up and hitting the alarm and listening to a podcast like mine, but I hope you do. But it means like, as far as like what you're eating, when you're eating, all that kind of jazz definitely is just as important as it was before. Keep up with it. Yeah, definitely. That means, I mean, everyone's grocery bills are getting higher, but hopefully in a good way, right? Hopefully they're getting good stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I hope so. Try to stick to your whole foods. Don't just sit around the whole COVID thing and right. just make yourself worse.
What would you tell the guys right now, the business owners? You've been in business for a while, man, like that are going through just the struggle of having to let employees go. Some of them are closing their doors or just barely staying above water. Any advice that you'd give or tips just from your entrepreneurship journey?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, one of the things I'm seeing a lot of, just like I said, on social media, looking around, is I definitely think that business owners need to probably be taking advantage of a lot of the things that the government's offering right now. Sure. I think it's there for a reason. Take the time to do it, do your due diligence, and get what you can to help you, because the most important thing for your business is for your business to stay in business. And so, you need to use all the avenues available to you. And then, I think another thing is a lot of people that are struggling right now don't feel like you're, how can I say, too good to do anything. I've got one friend of mine that's a coach, and she's got a couple of kids, and she does primarily do coaching and has her own business, but she also delivers on-the-go groceries to people 7 days a week. And there's nothing wrong with that. She's bringing home great money from doing it, and it's providing for her and her kids. Mm-hmm. And I just think right now it's not a time to feel like you're too good to do anything. Right. Do what you've got to do to make progress, and do what you've got to do to pay the bills and keep your doors open, because that's what's going to be so important, is to adapt and to overcome.
Yeah, I think it's really important that the business owners are hearing this, because when they're getting rid of, or sadly having to get rid of employees or lay off employees or furlough them for now, I guess, they assume that everything is just going to be on hold. And if you're just waiting it out, man, and not pulling up your sleeves and doing the things that you've already done before to build the business and get a little bit dirty, that's great advice, Damen. Like, you just got to do it. There is no pride right now. There is that's out the window. That's got to be gone. Yeah. I mean, I talked to my mentor the other day, just real quickly, and he had talked to a business owner that owned a restaurant, and the guy told him he just didn't know what to do, that he was just losing money, and he says, okay, well, to-go orders are doing pretty good right now. Are you taking them? And he goes, well, we don't have a drive-through. He said, well, I mean, you can do to-go, let them walk in and leave. Oh, we don't really do that. Well, you do now. You might need to start doing that if you want to. And so that's my point. You said, roll up your sleeves, do the work, and it will work out in the end. But it does take effort. It doesn't just fall into your lap. Damen, that's great advice. Before we jump off, I want to make sure people know where to find you. Can you drop us your website, and also, if they're interested, where they can take a look at it? Yes, sir. Yeah. So my website is just damengfit.com, DAMENG.fit.com. And my Instagram handle is just my name, Damen Griffith. And you can remember it pretty easily because it's spelled Griffith, just like Andy Griffith, like the Andy Griffith Show. Nice. So, so he's actually my sixth cousin, no lie. Oh, cool. And so there you go. That's cool. Something fun. And so, man, and if everybody's got a smartphone and they want a little help, especially once they get back into their back into the gyms and stuff, I got a free virtual trainer app download. They can just search Damen G Fit on the App Store or the Android store, and they can get it for free. So help them out. Damen, you're the man. Check out the app. Check out the website, Damen G Fit. Damen, thanks again for taking your time and dropping some of your knowledge with us today. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me. Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Leibus, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow, because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do, so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.